Doraville doesn't often make the lists of the best or most popular places to live in Atlanta, but you may want to give it a look anyway, especially if you will be working in the area or in nearby downtown Atlanta. Doraville is an Atlanta suburb, but feels more urban than the suburbs further away from Atlanta do. At the same time, it doesn't feel as urban as Buckhead, Midtown, or the downtown Atlanta areas. Doraville is sort of like a hidden gem right now. There's a lot to love about the area, and the real estate market is booming, but not quite everyone has realized it just yet. Stick around until the end to learn more about this wonderful city. Hey guys, my name is Tim Trevathan with Tim Trevathan Homes and Keller Williams Realty. People from all over the country move to Atlanta every day, and I have helped people buy homes all over the Atlanta area. My goal with the videos on my channel is to help you learn about the area and the local real estate market here. If you're looking for a home in Doraville or anywhere else in Atlanta, please get in touch with me. I've had the joy of helping clients relocate to Georgia. A thriving city in the early and mid 1900s thanks to the railroad, a General Motors plant, and several plants in neighboring Chamblee. Doraville experienced a decline when the plant started to close in the 1980s, ending with the closure of the GM plant in 2009. During this time, it experienced a revival of sorts by becoming home to thousands of Asian and Hispanic immigrants and becoming the hub of diversity that it is known for today. In the past few years, the city has started to undergo revitalization and lots of new development. Let's talk about the pros and cons of living in Doraville, Georgia now in 2023. Pro number one, location. You know how the real estate saying goes, location, location, location. You can't beat the location of Doraville, really. Located in northern DeKalb County, Doraville is partly inside the perimeter and partly outside the perimeter. If you are not familiar with Atlanta, the perimeter is what locals call I-285, the interstate that circles Atlanta. Areas outside the perimeter are considered suburban and areas inside are more urban. With I-285 running right through Doraville, as well as 3 north-south routes, I-85 on the east, Buford Highway in the center, and Peachtree Boulevard on the west, living in Doraville makes a commute into Atlanta for work easy, as you can just hop on the interstate. You will have to deal with some traffic because it is Metro Atlanta, but you will have much less traffic to deal with than those who live in the outer suburbs and are commuting into Atlanta. What's even better is that Doraville is located on the MARTA Gold Line. MARTA is Atlanta's light rail system, and you can hop on a train here and take it into the city. There are also several MARTA bus stops in the area. The prime location is precisely why Doraville is becoming increasingly popular. Con number one, schools. Doraville is DeKalb County, and DeKalb County's school system unfortunately doesn't have the best reputation, though there are some great schools in the system. Doraville is served by 2 public high schools, Chamblee and Cross Keys. There are a little over 400 public high schools in Georgia, and U.S. News & World Report ranked 37th best in the state, while Cross Keys ranked 187th in the state. Both of these schools are majority-minority, with Chamblee being a very diverse school and Cross Keys having a 90% Hispanic student body. Both schools also serve many English language learners. The graduation rate at Chamblee was 397th in the state in 2022 compared to Cross Keys at 405. Remember though that statistics are only part of the picture, so I encourage you to research the schools that your potentially new home is zoned for and see whether or not they will be a good match for your family. Pro number 2, diversity. Doraville is known for its ethnic diversity. Several decades ago, Doraville became home to Atlanta's first Koreatown. If you would like to learn more about the Koreatown in Atlanta, I've got several videos of that dedicated to that very topic, so don't forget to check those out. And not only Koreans settled in Doraville, but it also became home to immigrants from across Asia, as well as many Hispanic and African immigrants. Buford Highway runs through Doraville, and part of it is known as the International Corridor. The restaurants here give a delicious sampling of the diversity that Doraville is known for. You'll find cuisine from across the globe. There are Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, Thai, Ethiopian, Mexican, Salvadoran restaurants, just to name a handful of the culinary cuisine you'll find in Doraville. If you move to Doraville and like good food, you will love having such a variety of restaurants close to home. In fact, while I'm located in northern Gwinnett, I still go to Doraville and frequent the place just for the amazing food and variations that I could choose from. There's also a Super H Mart in Doraville, which is a wonderful Asian supermarket if you are not familiar with those. You'll definitely want to check it out. Con number 2, crime. Per lifestyle website Neighborhood Scout, Doraville has a crime rating of 3. On their index, 100 is the safest possible ranking, so a ranking of 3 means they believe Doraville is safer than only 3% of the cities in the country. But before you panic and cross Doraville off your list, let's dive a bit deeper. The majority of the crimes in Doraville are property crimes, not violent crimes. And in fact, violent crime is not that much more common in Doraville than the state as a whole, with a rate of 5.27 violent crimes per 1,000 people in Doraville and 4 per 1,000 people in Georgia. Property crime, however, is a different story. The rate of property crime in Doraville is over twice that in Georgia as a whole. There are 48.39 property crimes per 1,000 people in Doraville and only 20.07 per 1,000 people in Georgia as a whole. There's more crime in Doraville than in other parts of Atlanta, so that is something to keep in mind. But being street smart and doing things such as locking your home, being aware of your surroundings, and not keeping valuables in your car will go a long way towards lowering your risk of becoming a victim. Pro number 3, affordability. At the moment, affordability is a pro for Doraville, but I can see that changing in a few years as it gentrifies and becomes increasingly popular. Keep in mind that affordability is relative, and home prices and rents in Doraville have been rising over the past few years as the current development boom has been underway. Doraville is generally a more affordable option than other nearby communities like Buckhead or Dunwoody. That said, you will pay much more for new construction here than you will in older homes. As an example, the average sold price for a townhome in Doraville in the past 4 months was $326,000, but a brand new townhome sold in that same time period for just under $550,000. That puts it in a competitive price range as townhomes in Dunwoody, where they tend to sell from the 400,000s to the mid 600,000s. So Doraville can be a more affordable way to live inside the perimeter, but it also can cost you just as much as some of the other popular areas. It all depends on the age of the home you purchase and where in Doraville it is located. Con number 3, changing landscape. Doraville is undergoing major redevelopment right now, as I mentioned. As is common with gentrification, longtime residents and businesses sometimes get priced out of the area. Many longtime restaurant owners and business owners have voiced concerns about being able to remain in business as the area becomes more expensive. The diversity that Doraville is known for will likely remain as people from all over the country and really the world continue to move to Atlanta, but it remains to be seen how much the current landscape of family-owned and run restaurants and businesses will change over the next several years. Pro number 4, downtown redevelopment plan. Doraville is a city with a plan. The city's leadership is taking full advantage of its prime location, and there are many large-scale development projects that have either recently been completed, are in the process right now, or are planned for the future. Here's a quick overview of just 2 projects. The former General Motors plant site will become a full-fledged movie studio called Assembly Studios. NBC Universal has signed a multi-contract to run the complex, which is expected to open in 2023. There are also plans to turn a portion of the former GM site into a brand new multi-use city center for Doraville with residences, restaurants, retail, office space, and a lot more. There have been other new residential and retail developments built as well. There are a lot of exciting things happening in Doraville right now. Con number 4, lack of community events. This may not matter at all to you, or it may matter a lot. Doraville does have a handful of city-sponsored events each year, such as for the 4th of July and the summer movie series, but they do not have nearly the number of events some other cities in the metro area host, especially cities like Duluth that are known for the events in bustling downtowns. I do imagine that will change over the next few years as Doraville gets a new city center, but right now there are not the same number of city-sponsored festivals and events that you'll find elsewhere. So by now, hopefully you feel like you know more about Doraville, Georgia than you did at the start of this video. So if your curiosity has been piqued and you would like to learn more about Doraville, and buying a home out here is one of the goals that you have, then don't feel afraid to reach out to me, really. Call, text, email, however you want to get a hold of me. I've helped people from all across the country. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you on the next video.